What movie do you think of when you...
Hey everyone, we're back.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Where do we go?
Where do we ever go?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
I'm James, JD, the third, and I
So
love your
Joe.
title,
Yeah.
A New King or the Amish Indy 500.
Yes. I think it's appropriate.
Yes.
I don't.
You don't.
No.
On this wonderful day of Revenge of the Fifth.
Yes.
Yes.
Look, even that. There you go, guys. There.
What you got? What you got?
May the force be with you.
That's not how the fourth works.
right.
All right.
So, guys, I do have a question for you all tonight.
Pray tell.
So, my question is, you go out to McDonald's or Burger King, Taco Bell, and you get that big juicy hamburger or burrito,
Why'd you look at me when you said that? Jackass. Swear.
can't help it.
Oh, you totally could.
Yeah,
You just choose not to.
And you're self-soothing
Fucking
by
self.
eating, right? Yeah, you're just stressed out or emotionally damaged.
Emotional damage!
Not helping with that.
Can that still be considered an emotional support animal?
Yeah, go ahead, Switzerland. Take this one.
No comment.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth!
Gosh.
Wow.
That was a legit question by him, too. I
Yeah.
guarantee it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it an emotional support animal?
No, it is emotional damaging. Never be it.
Oh, gosh. So
So if anyone out there cares, can you tell us how we sound and how we look? Are we glitchy? Are we
a glitch in the Matrix? Are
Yeah.
is the Force bad with us right now?
Because,
Are we moving around like 3PO?
right.
Please tell us. We must know. But no, in all honesty, while we're waiting for maybe a response,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how was your all's past 2 weeks?
Well, had two unexpected visitors.
How did that go?
Well, I mean, it's not been great, but we've made it through.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Work sucks, as always. Yeah. Eric is trying to slowly kill himself.
What? I got Cocoa Crisp in my coffee.
He's got a chocolate coffee with cereal.
Yeah, it's not any better than the Frappuccino. It's better.
Why would you even think about having a Frappuccino?
Hey, man, we could go to that local.
Is that considered suicide?
What?
Diabetic eating too much sugar?
Sure.
Depends.
If I give it to him, is that considered assisted suicide?
No, that's considered straight up murder.
That's murder.
Not if you're aware of it.
Then why would I even eat it to begin with?
Assisted suicide.
Anyways, your week was what?
If you can't tell by my mood, it's been a week.
He's
Yes.
projecting some of my murder.
But the thing was, it's like, we saw his happy dance earlier.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So happy.
Because the children are no longer here. The only one that's here is my child.
Yes.
So
Yay.
can't complain too much. I mean, I can.
So,
Oh, I can.
yeah.
I gotta
So
make
we
sure
got-
my volume's down. It was not.
We got to see his happy dance.
Mm-hmm.
It was very C3P, PO or whatever like that. C3P in his face. But anyways,
Yes, you are.
no. I'm R2D bag, okay? You're C3P in his face.
Does that make him Big Boobs 8?
Yeah, let that just... If I had a zippo, I'd give you a thumbs up right now. But... So, yes, we got to see Joe's happy dance.
Yes.
So, starting off tonight, he is in an exquisite mood.
Yes. A little gassy though.
Stop.
Yeah.
Had too much cheese tonight.
No, don't.
Yeah.
We're
Y'all already. If y'all didn't smell it already, then I mean it's.
Eric.
If anybody's out there listening, please help us. If you can see just the demise on mine and JD's face, help.
There's no help for you.
Send something.
No.
First responders.
In the Arms of the Angels is playing in the background as we're talking here. Help us. Eric, how was your week? Weeks.
Yeah, right. Not too bad. Actually, work wasn't too bad. Just I guess life in general.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of everybody's known to be in some sort of schedule or routine.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it does become a little trying.
Thus is life, unfortunately.
Yeah, to where you really hope for the purge to really exist. So you can take care of all your issues in 24 hours. But I didn't get that again this week. So it wasn't that bad.
Oh.
I could sit there and kind of just with a straight face, look in the camera, and say, please help. Or I could sit there and go like, it was a great week.
I mean, you got money.
Yes, the only thing. It helps with my addiction to collecting. Other than
Have
that,
you gotten to your limit yet?
I have not, actually. Getting closer, but again, with routines, like I was saying, you have to deal with different personalities.
Yes.
And sometimes those personalities of those people just piss you off.
Yeah, just like you.
Yeah, right. JD,
Yeah.
how was your week?
I've had a fun week. Weeks.
Really?
Fun.
Do tell.
Fun. So the day after our last episode,
We're all sitting here being like, we're doing great. JD finishes off. So after we left last time, what happened?
so I woke up at 4 a.m. because I was what everybody needs to do. Getting up in the early. It's like, oh, I need to run to the restroom. So I get up. I start walking. Half asleep me does not realize, oh, I have my dog's bed steps right there. So I slam somehow my right foot into the dog steps.
First right foot.
I don't know how that happened because it's I don't see how I did it.
I think your dog set you up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was scared the shit out of it too. He woke up in the middle like, oh god, whoa, because it was just smack, fall, almost hit my head on my freaking computer desk.
Did he laugh afterwards? Could you just tell he was laughing?
I think he was trying to check off a hit list, but
I mean, maybe you were the wrong target?
I don't know. I don't know. But I fractured my big toe. It's doing good. One of the lucky things, at least, is the doctor said like it's one of the quickest healing. At least, like
Right.
that bone, at least the one being fractured, at least it's something that'll heal quickly.
So they're not going to have to amputate.
No,
Damn.
no, not gonna have any cool backstory over a stupid cut like that.
Oh, don't get it twisted. That wasn't going to be a cool story no matter what.
No, it'd be a horrible one. What was that battle scar?
Bed.
Stubbed my toe.
Yeah.
2023 bed stairs. What a hell of a night. But other than
Real quick, I have to sit there and say that when there was one episode that we've done here recently where we were missing you. It was the episode right before we went to the Scarefest.
yes,
So, if you remember that podcast, I actually had said on that podcast that I stumped my toe on a closed-circuit TV. So, basically what I'm saying out there,
Joe's
the only one left. You're next.
Oh, no, I did it on the couch.
Oh,
I pinky
yeah.
toe. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
like
right.
the last time we did podcast. So I started this whole chain.
You monster.
Yeah. This episode should have been brought to you by Pinkies.
Pinkies up.
No, this
there you
episode
go.
this episode is brought to you by Sightings.
That's fair.
And in case he is listening, hi, Dad.
Don't ever say that.
Why?
Because he's not your dad.
He is 2.
He's not.
Why would you say such a thing?
Because it's
He loves
facts.
me like he loves me like a son.
Yeah.
Mommy, Daddy, quit fighting. Meanwhile,
Yeah, please,
I'll ask him next time.
All right.
I will give him a hug and say, I love you, Dad.
You have parents. You know this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm collecting. It's like Pokemon.
Wow. No. Yeah, my dad has become.
I don't want his parents just because they look like psychopaths that make him look like a psychopath. Twin ventriloquist dummy.
bring up that picture.
You can tell this podcast is brought to you by the word family. It really, truly is an F word to us. Fuck you, dude.
Cap. But
love you, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah, other than stubbing my toe, at least this week, I guess, this last weekend, a lot of big games came out that I've been playing.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
DLC for Xenoblade came out.
Yep.
Good game. Good DLC. Jedi Survivor came out. It had some issues on PC.
Right.
So tell everyone about the hardest boss ever.
I think it was it Steve?
Steve. Yeah.
Steve.
The door mechanic.
Yes, Steve the door mechanic.
Yeah.
Epic fight.
Yeah. Epic.
Oh.
Epic boss fight.
Oh man, I messed with his inspections.
He's worse than the boss on Undertale?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Because that guy's a dick.
And I might point out too, one other big game's coming out next week. I'll have to talk about later, like next episode.
Right.
See how it is. The new Zelda game.
Yes.
I'm super excited.
After the trailers that we watched about everything that's being welcome to the game, like I'm thoroughly impressed by it and can't wait to play.
Thoroughly, like as in thoroughbred.
Dude, go back to Amish country.
We're there.
Oh God.
Don't make this a trifecta.
Triple crown, baby.
That's why he was churning butter in the kitchen earlier. Wondering about that.
So that's what you're calling it now?
So, Joe, we
Yeah.
should probably talk about one of the big things that's happening nearby us.
Well, first,
Oh.
this episode was brought to you by Audible. With more than 400,000 audiobooks, there's always something to listen to.
If you're
Did your voices crack?
this came out of nowhere.
Yeah, right?
If you're looking for a great audiobook to listen to, I'm actually going to go and do this one, Joe.
Oh, okay.
We highly recommend one of the classics that we listened to recently, Annihilation. It's a gripping tale of mystery,
Ooh.
suspense, and horror that will stay with you long after you've finished listening. Annihilation is a must-listen for fans of science fiction, horror, and suspense. The first book in the Southern Reach trilogy, it follows a team of scientists who were sent to investigate a mysterious zone called Area X. Area X is a place where the laws of nature don't seem to apply, and the scientists soon find themselves in danger as they try to uncover its secrets. The audiobook of Annihilation is narrated by Carolyn McCormick. Carolyn's performance is excellent, and she brings characters to life and the story to life as well. She perfectly captures the tension and suspense of the book, and she will keep you on the edge of your seat until the very end.
So get your copy of Annihilation on Audible today using audibletrial.com/podsquad1 and listen to the book that inspired the 2018 motion picture of the same name.
Thanks, Audible. You caught me off guard there, Joe.
You're welcome.
Wait, what are you doing in there?
I found you. I got that set up.
What you were saying about our first...
Well, not an article per se, but Joe, isn't there something going on nearby soon?
There is. It is a fun racehorse.
Yes.
Oh, that event?
Yeah.
Yes. So, we live very close to the Derby.
Yes, we do.
The Kentucky Derby. What are you all planning on doing for this event?
Watching the coronation.
Traitor.
I mean, no, but, they've shot 3 of the horses this week.
That was 4.
No, they scratched 4 extras.
No.
But they had to shoot 2 or 3 of the horses.
I haven't been paying much attention to it myself.
Yeah.
But
The Derby is going to be a very, 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 very quick race this year.
welcome to the Kentucky Hunger Games.
Yeah, right.
Makes
I
sense.
volunteer! I volunteer as tribute!
Oh gosh.
I'm actually going to... I might...
Mike?
Very long stretch of throwing some money at it. But
Really?
other than that, I will
The
not
time-honored
be-
tradition of gambling.
Yeah, right. But I will not at all try to go anywhere near that place. There's been people on social media that have been sitting there saying, like, I'm avoiding Louisville like the plague. Like, they do not want to go into that. Just, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that we were talking about last episode,
Right.
Thunder.
Yep.
Well, it was a very good Thunder this year, apparently. I didn't get a chance to watch it. What with pain and my foot.
Yeah.
I heard that it was pretty good, but the traffic at the end of the event was horrendous this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I hate to see what the main event of this event, how that's going to end up.
Yeah.
I have been hearing about a lot of, like, house parties. Like, people don't want to travel to the actual event. Or it's...
Derby parties.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. A lot of mint juleps as being, one of the main Derby drinks. So if somebody loses their house because they gambled everything away, mint juleps are going to be playing a part in that.
Generally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's probably... I could try to figure out a way to bet on a couple of races. Never have won at Derby ever. But that's kind of seeming like there's nothing else really fun besides dressing to the nines. Potentially, if you had the money and the means to go to the actual event, we usually have celebrities that come in from out of town.
Yes, I have not seen who is here this year. I could take a look while you're talking.
Right. I mean, I know in the past we've had Gene Simmons.
Everything okay?
Yeah. We
We've
just
had-
went really washed out for a moment.
Internet burps.
Yep.
But yeah, we've had Gene Simmons there. Oh God, Celine Dion I think has been there. Like, definitely a lot of musical guests. That right there looks like one of the Kardashians. So yeah, nothing.
It doesn't look like they're really showing a whole lot here
Right.
on my list. Yeah, these are older pictures.
Right.
Especially, older pictures, because we got...
The great man, Muhammad Ali.
Yep. Even though that says 2023, that I don't...
Yeah, no, that's not. That's no.
Let's see, I got a couple of people on here now. Don't know half of these people, unfortunately. Really? No one here. They got the music groups going, so...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess...
I'm just saying that there's been some celebrities, there's been some music performances actually at the event, and just people that weren't performing. They were just there to just gamble.
Yes.
You know, there was a show that used to come on called Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. It used to play on A&E, but they actually filmed the Kentucky Derby at one episode. And he actually did something. I've never been able to depict it as in being a dumb idea or a smart idea, but he bet on every, like, the main Derby was getting ready to go on, and he sit there and was like, he was so mad. He played it off. He acted like he was so mad because he was like, oh, I lost, but I bet on every horse in the main race. So even though he lost money,
he won.
He won money, and it's kind of like, why
Fair
would
enough.
you do that? But again, he's a millionaire and we're not. So, you know, that being said, we've got...
Throw money at it.
Oh, yeah. You got some problems? Just throw some money at it. But yeah, so it's going to be, you know, the same thing as it is every single year. Derby doesn't really ever change. The only difference is, like Joe said, we have had some casualties.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, little small question for both of you all.
Yes.
If you had to bet on the final race, what would you go off of? Would you go off stats? Or would you do like I do and just pick your favorite name?
I actually go by the names.
So I go by the post position.
Post position.
Yes.
He's gambling way too much.
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
You go by who's closer to the center?
Offset center.
Offset center?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah. Closer to the inside, but pretty much center.
I mean, the one thing
So,
that I don't know...
I think the one that I picked to win is Mage, even though he's 15-1.
With some people that don't know, like, this is the longest race, if I'm correct, out of the Triple Crown.
Yeah, it's the fastest 15 minutes or 2 minutes in
Oh my
sports.
God, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
All
right.
right.
Those horses are going to be tired as hell.
Fastest 2 minutes in sports history. What? It's 15, or it's 2 minutes.
Nice.
It's 2 minutes regardless.
But no,
That's why I ask, because, I mean, people usually go off of names.
No.
Like, if Aragon was one of the horses, I guarantee you he'd be betting on it.
Yeah. Well, Mage just so happened to be called Mage, and then it's also center offset post.
Well, like I was saying, like, you have that, or you're looking up the names right now, aren't you?
yes.
So, Big Brown, that right, I'm betting on Big Brown. Yeah.
You don't want to go for the one that's on top
To
of Big
fit.
Brown?
Fit.
So we got Tappet on top of Big Brown. Those are the
Wait, no, these
are winners.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got the list here.
Tap it twice. Trice. Sorry. Tap it twice.
Which is one of the kids of Tappet.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
I like how there's two Phils.
Yeah. Skinner got scratched.
Yep. That's scratch, scratch, practical move, scratch.
Because I was going to go for Skinner, and because Skinner was scratched.
Lord Miles. Scratched.
I'm gonna go for Ray's Cane. That'd probably be either that or well, I know which one JD's gonna bet with because he really can. He never screws up Japanese names.
What, the Mandarin hero?
Nope.
Derma Sotogaki?
There we go.
See, there you are.
I know they purposely name these things in some ways just for the announcer to...
The fun thing about that one is it's got a French rider.
Oh, okay.
He had to get certified to ride or jockey in Japan. To get certified for that, he had to learn Japanese.
Huh.
Nice.
Nifty. But that's... So, when it came to me on this, I usually went by the
It
name.
went up 20-1. Huh. I thought it was 15-1.
I usually went by the names as well. I also... There was, back in the day, there was one horse that I couldn't bet, but whenever my dad went to go bet at the time, I was always like, oh, bet for this horse. I really liked the jockey Pat Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He retired a few years back, didn't he?
Yes. Whenever I saw him as the jockey, it was all like immediately him. Because he was a really good jockey.
Yeah.
Well, there was like a family or like one of the main people that actually owned most of the horses. People continuously bet with them.
What was his name? Bob.
We'll just call him Bob.
Yeah.
But I keep seeing you go back to Mage.
I feel like Mage might be the one to go to.
See, if I were to go off of
Bob Baffert.
there you go.
Yeah.
If I were to go off, looking at the list right in front of me, not being any of the scratches, Raise Cane would definitely be one. Angel of Empire would be one, and Disarm. Those would be like the top three that I would go
So you're
with.
going all metal as fuck here.
Oh yeah, of course. But the other thing I was gonna say is like off of names, like that's what I feel more comfortable with. But a lot of people will bet numbers.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So if you're a big fan of like Reincarnation and the number 7, there you go. He's already there. Reincarnate number 7.
Nice. I didn't even think about
Wow.
Boom.
Good job.
that. But yeah, I'd like to see how it goes. I might watch the actual like main event of the race. But
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
The one thing I'm looking at this list right here is it's if I'm correct, the 149th.
yes.
Yep.
It's crazy, isn't
Almost 150 years
Yes.
it? Yes.
of watching a 2 to how many horses are on there?
20
So
horses.
so it's 20 horsepower of a NASCAR event with animals. That's
Yes.
all it is because
Yes.
that's all they're doing.
Yep.
Yep.
The best 2 minutes in sports.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not.
It really
But-
isn't.
Just tap it twice if you don't believe us.
And I'm also not a big fan of the Derby just because of how they treat the horses. Yeah.
Yeah, now you're getting a little.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, yeah.
You're
I know.
going.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was gonna say is because we have talked pop cultures and movies and everything like that. The only, I guess, true movie would be Seabiscuit. That's really the only one
Yeah.
that they've actually ever kind of.
I know that I think there was another one, but it was an older movie.
Right.
But the one everybody knows, Seabiscuit.
Right. With Spider-Man.
Yeah. Now that I would watch.
It already happened.
No, like with him in the full getup.
Well, I mean,
Not
it was
just the
emo
actor.
Spider-Man and Seabiscuit, but
Bully
still.
McGuire?
Yeah. Yeah. That's who the main star was of Seabiscuit. But, you know.
Don't forget. Tap it thrice.
Getting away from sports
Price.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we've had too much sports in the show.
That's-
Sports ball.
That is 2
Sports
podcasts
episodes. Yes.
that we've had sports in.
Sports.
Yeah.
Oh. What's happening to this podcast?
Don't know. Sports.
We might
No.
need to get a chat GPT or whatever to help us out.
Yes. The AI can help us with this.
ESP Geek.
Start it off, please.
So this is talking about
It's glitching
something.
out bad.
Yes, like Skyrim.
Ooh, what's going on with Skyrim?
So-
wait, we're still talking about Skyrim?
They're still making Skyrim. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know that.
I mean, literally last year we just had another Skyrim edition come out
Li-
to the
like-
PS5 and all the other next gen.
Like it's a 25-year-old game
Yes,
at this
it
point.
runs on Alexa. It runs on Amazon
No,
Alexa.
that was a spoof.
No, it does. There
Okay.
there was apparently it was a joke,
Well, right.
but there was an app apparently. But no, there is a Skyrim mod that just came out.
Okay.
A Skyrim modder named Art from the Machine has shown off a mod that they've been working on that uses ChatGPT and other AI tools to give NPCs a memory of your adventure. Endless things for them to say, and a way for them to ask questions with your voice. And a way to ask them questions with your voice, I should say. As reported by PC Gamer, this mod uses ChatGPT in concert with XVA Synth for text-to-speech that lets NPCs speak these new answers with an AI version of their voice and whisper for speech-to-text. So players can use their own voice via a mic to ask questions. So you can finally ask those Nords any questions.
Like without having anything hold us back.
Yeah.
So can you ask it, like, why they took an arrow to the knee?
Or where the fuck their sweet rolls are.
I was gonna ask who's gonna win the Derby.
Can you put a bucket on their heads and then ask them questions?
That is a good question.
Or
We should
do
do
they
this.
even know you're there?
We should ask this.
Okay.
I'm kind of hoping that this mod actually turns it into like a video game version of
So
Free
is-
Guy.
Is this
where
a
the
free?
NPC actually
Yes,
starts to
it
do
is
for
a mod.
himself?
It's a free mod, though.
It should
It's
be a free
okay.
mod. Right as of right now, the new responses from the NPCs aren't quite natural as of yet and can be a bit slow. But that is
Can't
ChatGPT in a
imagine.
nutshell trying to do its...
Chat GPT thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it does show promise of a world where NPCs can comment on nearly everything you do and even answer questions directly from the player that aren't canned responses from a list of dialogue options. For example, there was a video released from Art from the Machine that shows a conversation with Ulberth Warbear from War Maidens and Whiterun.
He stole my name.
And the player can ask him what the store's hour of operations are and even how much time remains until the store's closed based on the in-game clock.
So is this going to be like one of those, hopefully not, one of those choose your own adventure text-based games now where you have to know exactly what to say or else they won't answer you
I
with
don't
anything?
think... So, as I'm getting from all this stuff here, he is seen describing a sword the player picks up, showing that any NPC with the proper knowledge could dynamically explain various items in the worlds to you as part of the conversation instead of having this info solely in text form.
Okay, guys, I'm going to start playing Skyrim.
It seems to be a well-crafted iron sword with a soul gem embedded in the hilt. The enchantment on it allows the wielder to capture the souls of their enemies, Warbear says.
Okay.
So it's basically it's Skyrim, but it's the Skyrim for the Sims.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes. Art from the Machine says, I have a basic memory system set up where I can ask ChatGPT to summarize the conversation on exit to help condense it down for future prompts. There are much more sophisticated tools out there to handle memory through such as LangChain, which I'm hoping to implement in the future. So he's planning to up their memory setup so that whenever if you were playing this game, it would have a longer list of stuff for, I guess, like, you can do hours upon hours and stuff, and the AI would remember what you did.
Okay, so now it's Animal Crossing.
Yes.
So they're not.
So you're saying
really
Nintendo did it?
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's been a real. That's not an original idea. They just kind of,
Co-opted it.
Yeah, they made it better.
They did it. But no, I mean, I'm interested in seeing how this works out, because that just means that there are other games that could start learning to use something like this.
No, true.
Uh,
I just want to watch Joe play it so he can walk into one of the bars and like look at one of the NPCs. I mean, like, you've been doing this for 25 years. When are you gonna quit?
Yeah.
You need to get out. I heard there's this game called Starfield that's coming out.
What is this Starfield you speak of?
You must attack your creator. He's gone too far.
Ooh, convince Skyrim to create code that attacks
Todd Howard. And as he's being
Morrowind?
destroyed, you just tell him it just works. So
See, I would definitely go into that game with the question for one of the NPCs being like, what do you think is better, Ubisoft or like Bethesda or whatever, and just try to sit there and destroy it from within. Just
It would
different
work.
game companies.
Yeah.
And like, what do you think? Looking at the NPC that's giving me like a vat of grog or whatever like that and be like, so, do you like Call of Duty or do you like Battlefield?
I could just do the age-old AI enigma of saying the next thing I say is truth, the last thing I said is false.
Then they would glitch out really badly.
Well,
why are you trying to throw that magic on them?
yes, I'm
Yeah.
throwing some magic from the magic of Skyrim to the magic of Wizards of the Coast.
Oh God, fuck them.
Yeah, so I got a wonderful story about Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, they suck so bad.
So, there were some cards that popped up
Yep.
a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about this
Yep.
one? You have heard this one?
Yes.
This is funny.
No. Because they're dicks.
They went back to the ye old Western times.
Yeah.
So, there were some Magic the Gathering cards that turned up on YouTube last week. So, I guess the guy who put this up on YouTube, Old School MTG, he published a video showing the opening of a box of collector booster packs from something called March of the Machine, the Aftermath. Just one of 22 boxes, it said, were purchased from an acquaintance. Little was revealed about this set, which was not expected to arrive in stores until May 12th.
Right.
So, I guess he was trying to do just an advertisement, pretty much. He bought them. The main problem is he bought it from an acquaintance that he didn't know the acquaintance did some underhanded shady stuff.
Right.
Which, unfortunately, it sounds like he did. Because Wizards was not happy.
Yeah, but they did some really illegal shit here.
Illegal or something from the ye old Western times?
It's illegal now because we are not in the ye old Western times.
So
Fuck them. Sorry.
So, Old School MTG said, I got up and recorded some videos. The presenter said in the video, this presenter said in this video that he posted afterwards. Right after I got done with the video, dogs started barking because somebody was knocking at my door. I came out and my wife was answering the door, and it was the Pinkertons.
Old Western,
Yep.
like faction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Eric, you were kind of remember the Pinkertons from a certain game. Which, by the way, they tried to sue Rockstar for defamation.
Yes, they are actually still around. Like, they've got a website and
Yes.
everything.
The name
Yes.
Pinkerton, and by the way,
They're gonna get
their
painted
new
red
logo,
dead, man.
their new logo, cool but shady.
Right. Right.
The name Pinkerton should ring a bell for all of the fellow American listeners. The modern-day Pinkertons descended from the Pinkerton Detective Agency, which was founded in Chicago, Illinois, more than 170 years ago.
It's not that long ago.
It sounds long, but it really isn't.
Yeah, right.
The company has played a role in major historical events, the least of which was was kind of a stint as a violent, strike-breaking private paramilitary force in the late 19th and 20th century, and beating the crap out of Arthur Morgan and...
God.
He's not wrong.
Now they're part of a subsidiary of Paragon Systems, which counts security and loss prevention amongst its many services. So basically, they've become very enforcive mall cops.
I like the way you put that. Yeah.
Very enforcive bouncer cops, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the best way I mean.
Like, I don't get it. Like, how could anything they did be considered legal to this family?
Really, the best way this could have ended up, and this is really true, they didn't really have to do anything with them. They didn't have to answer the door.
No, they didn't have to.
They could have just closed the door and said, no.
But they were bullied. They were...
Oh, no, they were.
Yeah, they were made to think.
They were the people, as it says here, the presenter at Old School MTG described agents as big, heavy hitter guys. They basically brought in Mr. Bouncer guys coming in here who frightened his wife, and they arrived with contact information for someone at Wizards of the Coast. And after speaking with them, the presenter said they made the decision to pull their original videos down.
Yeah, so they sent muscle,
Yeah,
essentially.
they were very apologetic about making my wife cry first thing in the morning by sending these heavy-duty lawmen, which Wizards apologized. But they don't believe we stole anything, which we didn't. They bought it.
Right, and it was their property, so they could do what they want with it.
Yeah.
They weren't under an NDA. They weren't anything.
Wizards is still putting this as an investigation, and they know that, yes, this is part of the investigation that he technically did not steal anything.
I just like the end of that where it says, but they wanted the product back so they could try to figure out where the hole was so they could plug the hole. Yep.
They yeah.
Corporate.
Essentially, someone's disappearing.
Yes. Somebody
Now
screwed
we're
up
gonna
and
knock
sent
on
out
our
the
door.
wrong cases to the gentleman that I bought the boxes off of. Because when he sold me the stuff, he was selling me March of the Machine Collector boxes, not Aftermath. He didn't even know what Aftermath really was, I don't think. Is what the buyer and the seller both said. Engaging private investigators to retrieve stolen or missing trading cards is not a particularly new or novel strategy for game publishers. There was another similar incident in 2021 involving products from the Pokemon trading card game.
God.
Gotta catch them all.
Yep.
They were also...
Just like fathers.
Oh. MTG, he said that he no longer has the product. The Pinkertons took everything to take back to Wizards of the Coast. This includes even the empty boxes and wrappers. The wrappers.
Yeah.
Of course.
You gotta have it complete.
I don't even have a token to show for my efforts, he added.
They could have given him a T-shirt or something at least.
I think that he did, not in this article.
I think he did get a T-shirt.
He got some, like, the more recent cards as, like, a compensation.
Yeah, they gave him a deck of just island.
Oh, land cards.
Oh, yeah. Here's your deck, man. You could take anybody out.
But it's all green lands. Too bad. At least he's getting green lands. That's safe and I don't know.
Safe for us.
Yeah, safe for us. But Joe,
Yes.
you've heard this story. You've heard about like the stuff that's been going on lately with recycling, et cetera, et cetera. I have a fun fact for everybody.
Oh God.
So, if you didn't know, we have been kind of losing resources on some part of one of our favorite dessert items.
Oh yes.
Justine knows now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, vanilla, like the actual natural extract, it is in high demand. It is a high demand product. And we've been starting to do more of an artificial setup, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, fun fact.
What do you mean?
Yes. Oh, I see you got some vanilla on you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you? It's all...
Oh, yes, it's over here, too.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
A little right here.
apparently, researchers at Scotland's University of Edinburgh, this is 2 years ago, I might add, so now, as Joe even put it, he knew about this.
Yep. I've known about
it's a
this for
legit thing
years.
now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a kind of a well-known thing, and I kind of want to bring it up for people that didn't know. Researchers at Scotland University of Edinburgh have used genetically modified E. coli bacteria that turn a plastic bottle into vanillin, the primary source for the taste and smell of vanilla. Researchers even believe that this plastic-derived vanillin is likely safe for human consumption, which it apparently was.
Is or was?
Was.
Yes.
Definitely
Is.
was.
Researchers even believe that this plastic-driven vanillin is likely safe for human consumption. However, further experiments would need to be required 2 years ago. Vanillin can be extracted naturally from vanilla beans. Those beans are expensive, so synthetic vanillin is far more common. Reportedly, 85% of vanillin is produced this way. It's a really interesting use of microbial science at a molecular level to improve sustainability and work towards circular economy. Ellis Crawford, publisher editor of the Royal Society of Chemistry, was quoted as saying, using microbes to turn waste plastics, which are harmful to the environment, into an important commodity and platform molecule with broad applications in cosmetics and food. Science.
Science!
Science.
Not just regular chemistry, green chemistry.
Yes.
So basically what we're doing is we're clearing out the landfills and putting the shit back in our bodies.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah.
But, I mean, what do you think about this? I mean, it's better
Hey,
than...
we're
At
gonna
least
die.
it's not beaver or anus secretions.
Do you really want me to bring up that fact?
I mean, there is a gland in the beaver's asshole
Rectum.
that secretes vanillin. Or something that tastes like it anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I will bring up this fact. There is a thing in the beaver anal gland called castoreum. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, we're kind of
Sounds like a bad Harry Potter. Castorium!
Ew. They use castoreum to mark their territory. Apparently, we learned, hey, this smells like vanilla.
Let's see what it tastes like. Oh my god.
I just
What
like
the
how-
hell is wrong with... You know what? This was probably from the same people that discovered this were probably the same people that founded Louisville and Clarksville. Lewis and Clark.
I just like how the first one by National Geographic, which is a
No.
for real good source.
Right.
Beaver butts emit goo used for vanilla flavoring.
I-
Makes me just say damn.
I love this article. I can't get the rest of it because I don't have an account with National Geographic.
Oh shit!
But I
right?
have to put the trail off here from Joanne Crawford. I lift up the animal's tail of said Joanne Crawford, a wildlife ecologist at Southern Illinois University, and I'm like, get down there and stick your nose near its bum. People think I'm nuts, she added as it trails off on the thing, and I can't read the rest of this.
Well, they used to think she was crazy. Now, no, they definitely see she's nuts.
A little woody. But no, there's a lot of stuff out there that's just like...
So does that mean that beavers will potentially, possibly become extinct after a minute?
No, you're putting the dam in our works here,
Yeah,
man.
right.
You need to stop.
We're punny.
Moving on.
Yes.
I have to... If you're going into the punny territory, I got an article for you, Eric.
Oh God.
So there's a Zelda game getting remade.
Okay.
Not just our wonderful new Tears of the Kingdom coming out here, but we also
I
got...
swear to God, if they are remaking a CDI game, I'm gonna be really, really.
A fan has demade Zelda's Adventure for the Philips CDI.
Didn't y'all learn your lesson to begin with? Like in the beginning, please tell me you didn't.
So you
No,
can...
a fan remade this.
Yes, a fan.
Okay.
Hear me out. This
All
sounds
right.
really good. This indie developer, John Lay, in the style of his... So, commonly held to be the worst of the lot, Zelda's Adventure. It was the
God,
third of the
yes.
CDI games that looked... It didn't have the fun of the shitty cutscenes.
Not at all.
But it was remade by John Lay for the Game Boy.
Okay.
In the style of Link's Awakening.
Okay.
You can play this version on Itch.io, which is a in-browser program. Or download a ROM to play on emulator or on the original Game Boy hardware even.
Okay.
If nothing else, it's a little easier on the eye than the original.
Only if I hope the hit detection is the same way.
Which appeared to be cobbled together from clip art. The first two CDI games, like I said, were just with its horrible cutscenes. Which
That hopefully, I'm really hoping that was a kiss of disdain. It needs to be.
It brought up some spicy memes on the internet back in the day, and still today, with also YouTube poop. Can't wait to bond with dongos.
Of all the ones they could have remade that were amazing.
So
Right.
the game sticks to the aesthetics of Link's Awakening, which, is basically Oracle of Ages, Oracle of the Seasons style.
Okay.
Over the head.
Right.
He told Kotaku that the Game Boy Zelda's Adventure took him around 14 months to make. He wasted a year of his life almost.
Yeah.
More than a year of his life.
Yeah. Yes. I love the next line. Zelda's Adventure isn't anything more than a curious footnote in Zelda's history.
But if you're
no
looking
idea.
for that playable princess fix before Tears of the Kingdom, either dashes or fulfills your dreams, this is the best place to start.
It's definitely going to dash your
And
dreams.
you sit there and I'm really tempted to... I'm clicking it.
Oh, God.
There it is. I got the game playing. So, yeah, what do you see here? It literally...
The title screen doesn't look bad. But if you get... Yeah. It was not a good game. It is one of the most... Well, I can't even really say it's one of the most sought-after CDI games, but the CDI did not come out with a large library of games or whatever, and there was 3 pieces of shit Zelda games that came out on the CDI. It wasn't that it didn't have the memory. It wasn't that it didn't have, like, the system itself. It wasn't ahead of its time, but it could have done so much more for that game. But the thing is the games were utter shit. And the thing about it, though, is in the bad thing about video games is when the game is fucking horrid, it becomes more rare and more pricey. So for collectors like myself, it makes it harder for us to get them, even though the game was ridiculous. It was so bad.
I've watched people play through... What was the Wand of Gamelon?
Yes.
And the Faces of Horror, I think is what it was called? Or?
Faces of...
Faces of Death.
Yeah.
You're actually, I think, really close.
Yeah, right?
And even then, both of those games... So there were 2 CDI games where you played as Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And then one where you played as Link.
Yep. But the cutscenes you're talking about... Think of the worst anime.
Oh boy! I won!
Oh, God.
Think of just... well, in general, let's say a kindergartner made a cartoon.
Actually, I got the best footnote
That
for this.
is what it is.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Like you said, an 8-year-old watched the Super Mario Brothers Super Show
Okay.
and watched the Zelda portions of those
Uh-huh.
and sat there and said, I can make better.
Oh.
I'm not going to sit there and say that the
My
Zelda
boy.
games... I'm not going to sit there and say that the Zelda games was what brought down the CDI. But it helped. Like, that's why Philips kind of dropped that entire thing as their next business venture or whatever, because, like, even when they were released, usually people over time, if the game doesn't stand the test of time, you can go back and figure out where it shit the bed.
Nintendo has kept
Or beaver gland the bed. Or whatever. But the thing is as soon as those games were released, they were horrible. People realized how bad they were, and they were so distraught over it because, again, like we would all agree that Zelda games of any kind
Right.
are some of the greatest RPGs ever.
Right.
Like, they all are great. Except those 3. Those 3 can jump off a fucking bridge.
Well, aren't they kind of in the same situation as, like, Star Wars with the holiday special?
Don't ever say anything unkind about that. That's where my
That
boy,
is
that's where my boy was presented. Yes. That's where he made his...
You can,
Yeah, right?
well, if I'm correct, Disney Plus, you can watch just that cartoon.
Yeah.
Because the other thing doesn't exist.
The holiday special? It absolutely does. I watch it every year. Right after eating some very interesting brownies.
This episode was brought to you by the Big Lebowski.
My dude.
Yeah, right. You're the dude. I'm just Mr. Lebowski.
Joe,
Yes.
those very unique brownies, I have to tell you, they're illegal.
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah, right. Currently, yes. Now, eventually,
So-
we'll get past.
Talking about illegal here.
Oh, God.
Did you hear what happened in Utah?
What, with my favorite subject matter?
So internet users were blocked from
Assets?
assing the busiest porn site in the U.S. starting on... It was starting, I think, last Monday from the Utah Senate Bill 287, which went into effect... I love how they put affection. Wednesday, which required any commercial entity that provides pornographic material must verify the age of its users in order to ensure that minors are not accessing the content.
How are they going to verify?
They take place through state-approved digitized information cards, third-party verification, or any other reasonable method. Per the bill's text, parents and guardians are also able to sue adult film companies for damages if they do not comply with the state laws.
So what you're saying is families can sue porn companies for facial recognition?
Ah! That's going to get challenged and...
That's going to explode over them.
Oh, but they'll give out free gifts like pearl necklaces and stuff.
Wow.
This is a pain in the ass.
All right, come on, plug it up.
Yeah. In response, Pornhub actually started blocking the state of Utah's IP addresses.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame them.
Affected users are instead shown a message when they attempt to access the site, which states a strong opposition to this new regulation.
You're going to block people's porn.
As you may know,
Oh, man, they're cock blocking shit.
Yeah.
As you may know, your elected officials in Utah are requiring us to verify your age before allowing you to access our website. While safety and compliance are at the forefront of our mission, giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult site is not the most effective solution for your privacy. Until a real solution is offered, we have made the difficult decision to completely disable access to our website in Utah. Fun fact. Starting as early as that Tuesday morning, Google search inquiries for VPNs skyrocketed. For people that don't know what a VPN is,
Yeah.
it's basically the Patrick saying of, what if we put this here and move it over there?
Right.
I mean,
AKA, I'm logging in here from Kentucky, but I'm actually in Britain.
misdirection.
Yes.
So, I mean, basically the same thing that I'm using right now so that I can control everything Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook from my work laptop.
Yes.
Because it bypasses all of the antiviruses and everything my company has put on there to try to block me from accessing certain sites.
Yeah, so Joe is literally letting all the young kids of the world know. I mean, like, look, you can have a fake ID and get away with it.
Right.
Like, you won't have to ever tell somebody that you're of age.
Right now, my laptop thinks it's in California.
But yeah, apparently, I guess that the VPN searches were like 12 times the height and trend in Utah.
And Salt Lake City? Okay.
Wow.
Ooh.
So,
According... I want you to read that.
according to SimilarWeb, an
Analytic.
analytics company that tracks website data, Pornhub was the 10th most visited site in the U.S. No shit, I visited that night. But anyway, in March and ranked 12th globally. Globally. Not locally. We're thinking globally now. Putting it above Amazon and TikTok.
This is pod racing.
Utah is not the first state to require proof of age for porn sites. Oh, of course, that's good. Louisiana enacted a similar law starting on January 1st, and Arkansas and Mississippi were required age verification on adult content sites starting this year, according to Free Speech Coalition.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you have to remember Pornhub is one, if not the biggest.
Right.
So this doesn't make sense to me with Utah's
Did you
setup.
find a contradiction?
There's kind of a contradiction.
Okay.
When asked about the differences between Utah and Louisiana's laws, a Pornhub spokesperson told Newsweek in an email on Wednesday that while Utah has a digital ID wallet similar to Louisiana's, which allow residents to store government-issued documents on their devices, Utah's system only allows for digital documents to be used in person sales transactions, meaning it cannot be used for online sites.
Why you gotta take a set?
So basically, the way they're saying there is, like, the digital ID thing doesn't really even work. It's kind of like a blockade.
Surpassable, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know dark web. You ain't gotta worry about it.
VPN.
Right.
I mean, just go get the Tor browser and...
Go deep.
Yeah. Go deep, go hard.
The dark web.
Make sure the lights are off.
The underbelly.
Smack that beaver.
Oh, I thought I had my glasses on for a second.
No.
But actually, I think that's about all I have. I could have a little discussion here.
About porn?
No, actually, it's
Okay.
about the last article.
Okay.
It's a small one, just a small article.
Okay.
So we were talking about bad games.
Yes.
Yes.
What was the worst game you've played, and what was your favorite game that technically is considered horrible?
He actually took my idea. Or not my idea, because it's not really my idea, but
E.T.
he came through.
for both.
You played both?
No, E.T. for both.
Both of your
For
questions.
both of your questions.
Oh, and you
He's
played.
taking one. He's picking one game for
Oh.
both.
Yeah. No, E.T. was the worst game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was... You couldn't win.
You like how you went down on the ground, like
Yeah,
it kept
yeah,
dropping you
just-
down.
You couldn't do it.
I gotta get the name of the one I've played.
Okay, so
The worst game that I played that I really enjoyed, right? That was your
That was
other
the second
question?
part, yeah.
It really wasn't a bad game. It was just a rip-off game. Dr. Mario.
really, well,
Yeah.
Tetris.
Yeah.
No,
It is a knockoff of Tetris.
I don't know if it could really be considered a knockoff. Hear me out. Nintendo created both.
Yeah.
Mario was in both. In the later installments of Tetris.
Mm.
Because you remember when Dr. Mario was the one making the pills come out and everything like that?
Well,
In
yeah.
the later arrangements of Tetris, he did the same thing.
Huh.
I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I would say if you're
don't-
under Nintendo, like you have your mainstay, like Mario
Yeah.
is their poster child, and Tetris. Like I know that it came out for different companies. Tengen was one and everything, but that was still under Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
I mean, but I can understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Ride to Hell Retribution.
Yeah, so my worst game
Yeah.
on my list, and I think it is actually considered one of the worst games, is called Ride to Hell Retribution. It was a horrible, like, action game that I played.
What system did it? Was it just for 360?
I think it was just 360. I played it on I rented it on 360.
Okay, that's why I don't know what it is.
The other one, another one I've got, GoldenEye.
You saw our reaction, like you better not say it's a bad game.
It was a bad game. The graphics were bad. That's a given. We know the graphics were bad. Have you gone back to try to play it?
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
controls are shit.
Well, that's just the 64.
Right, but still, the controls are shit.
I have GoldenEye on Wii, so I had the gold gun. Go back there, so yeah.
So my like game that I like, but I know is a horrible game,
Yeah.
was a game called Advent Rising.
I actually 360. Or
Yes.
no, original OG Xbox.
Yes.
That's what that game was on. Was OG
So
Xbox.
this game had a lot of issues. For one, I felt like I love the game. Like I said, game was a great story. It was written by Orson Scott Card.
Okay.
So guy who made Ender's Game.
Yeah.
He made the plot for this, and they were planning on making this a 3-part series, if I remember correctly. Never happened because the first game was basically playing a game at 5 frames per second.
Yeah.
See, I always looked at Advent Rising as a knockoff of Half-Life.
Yeah, that you could actually go with that.
No.
In it was a different. What would be the best way to put it? It was trying to do kind of like Halo meets, like you said, Half-Life.
Right.
The plot was decent, like I said. I can't remember too much of it now, but I remember it was one of the few games at that time that had a multiple choice in it. Because there's 2 characters in it. There is the character had his wife and his brother there. And there's one part where you can either save one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And whichever one you don't save, comes back to bite you in the ass. But I remember the game being like a mix of a gunner with a brawler.
Right. That I'll agree with.
But it was a fun game. I thought it was a fun game with the platforming and all that in it, and I was okay with it. Probably playing it now, I'd probably say it's a piece of shit. But one of the big things that was an issue with this game was it had a sweepstakes.
I remember that.
I think there was an Easter egg in the game, and if you found the Easter egg, the first person to find it was supposed to get $1 million. It was supposed to be the golden ticket scenario.
Huh. Okay.
That was immediately scrapped within a week.
Right.
Because somebody found it by clipping.
Oh.
Because they're asking gamers to find something that, video gamers are like, oh, okay, I can just do that easily.
Right.
Because, the Xbox is technically Microsoft, so I can just find a little loophole here, and now it's, no clip time.
Right.
And they found out where it was, and, the company was like, we can't really do it now. This is why we can't have nice things.
Right.
But, yeah, that was about mine on that end. What about you?
So what was the questions again? It was what a bad
What-
game is?
What was your opinion, what was the worst game that you played?
Okay, let me answer that one. It would be on the Panasonic 3DO,
Ooh.
and it was a game called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. It was you want to talk about frames per second? There was no frames per second. It was a bunch of weird pictures. Your whole premise of the game was that you were trying to date a girl.
Wasn't it also kind of like a live-action cutscene game, too?
There was no live action because it was just photos
Oh,
or whatever
dear
like
God.
that. But the way they
God.
put them together was like a moving picture or whatever like that.
Oh, God.
Every time you would lose because you made the wrong choice, like her boss was trying to get a raise or give her a raise, well, he got a raise or whatever. If you made the wrong thing, it didn't stop him. There was a giant chicken that was the game over screen. So it's kind of like, oh, I see what you did there. Good job, Pornhub. Anyways. So, right. So, that one was definitely the worst game. And yes, I do own it.
I need to watch AVGN actually did a...
Right. He doesn't lie. Like, I don't remember if you ever... Right. If you see the photos, this is actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep,
Okay.
Gameplay actually happens. There's the guy that gives you the game over screens, and scan down real quick, and you might be able to see the chicken. Or would it be?
Type in the search just chicken.
Yeah. So yeah. Yep, there he is. Yeah. So that one was a really, 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 really bad game. I have 2 games for the second question you asked. This would be like, what game that I love to play, but it was considered utter shit. The first one would be, it was a game on GameCube. It is actually came out, I want to say, on PS2, but it was a sports-esque title called BMXXX.
I know this one.
I know this one too.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed
Risky.
customizing my player or whatever like that. Like, before I had tattoos upon tattoos and everything like that, my player in the game had tattoos, and I would dress the same way I'm dressing now.
Right.
Even, I think I had a mohawk at the time. I had a mohawk on my biker in that game. But the thing is like, if you unlocked different things, you could unlock different videos at the strip club.
Yep.
And you had music from bands like 311 and stuff like that, which was one of my favorite acts back then. But they would play...
I'm noticing a trend of shitty games.
They would play stripper scenes with, like, the song Down from 311 on the video, and it's like, yay, or whatever. You could do some cool stuff, but I was, around that time, real big into Dave Mirra, BMX, on PlayStation, stuff like that. Like, I love to play those kinds of games, so when BMXXX came out, I was like... I was more, as a kid, being like, ooh, a game that I'm not supposed to be playing, but I'm still going to have a hell of a time with it. So that's what I did. The other game, it was funny because when you pulled up Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, on Google, at the very bottom was the other game that I was going to mention. Now, this game got a resurgence because it got a 25th, Limited Run Games made a 25th anniversary of it and brought it out. Everybody looks at this game as a shitty game. It came out for almost every single system possible, but it was a game called Night Trap.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And everybody, I love that game. It's one of the only games I ever downloaded on my old PS4 system. Like, I downloaded the 25th anniversary and then went back through and beat the game perfect or whatever because I grew up on the game. It was one of the first games I ever beat. But has it stood the test of time? No. The reason it got a 25th anniversary is because it's still talked about as how shitty it is.
It is basically, for people that don't know, if I remember this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
It is a very, very poorly optimized game of security cameras.
Yes. Yes. Back when the what was it? What was the FMV games?
Yes.
That
Sewer
was
Sharks is another good example.
Double Switch with Corey Haim. You know, like they had
when this was the future.
Right.
The future is now.
Ground Zero Texas was another FMV game. Nobody enjoyed these. The Angry Video Game Nerd actually made a whole entire episode on FMV games and how much they suck. But the Sega CD was always
By the way,
my
even though
favorite.
we're not getting like promoting on any, like we're not promotions on this, go watch AVGN. He's a great YouTuber.
What is his favorite thing to say is like
play the shitty games that suck ass.
right, but no, he's like every time he takes a shit on the game or whatever like that, he's like, I take a buffalo shit.
A diarrhea dump.
There you go. Well, you pulled up a game that has been
Yes.
around for
If we're talking about the really awkward, weird games that people have played, I played this one. It was a stupid fucking game. Leisure Suit Larry, Magna Cum Laude.
God, yeah.
I am actually in talks with a guy to buy some games from him, and that's going to be one of the games I get.
So Leisure Suit Larry was a Sierra game back in the day too, around the age of King's Quest.
Uh-huh.
That was like the old school point and click adventure games.
Oh, yeah.
And
I remember
they're-
seeing this on PC.
Yes. So they sat there and said, you know what? We can make a game out of that too in the PS2 and Xbox era.
Mm-hmm.
What was made was a really fucking horrible game.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
It's quoted as being adventure and action. Really,
You go on adventure for action, but that's kind of what that is. I remember one of my favorite things is watching somebody on their PC, and I'm talking like old school IBM computer.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, that's
Whoa.
suggestive.
Well, that's kind of that character.
That's the game I was talking about getting.
Yeah, that's the one that I was
that's the one
talking
I'm gonna
about.
buy.
Yeah,
But like this one right here, like that's the one I saw on PC. The funniest thing about that, when you're on your adventure looking for action, you will actually hook up with certain people. But the funniest thing about it is when you go over to any type of, like when you point and click over to any type of place to lay down, like a bed or a couch or anything like that, you see the thing shaking, but you don't see them. You just have to use your imagination. Being when you're like 12 years old and you're just like, what are they doing? Why is that weird like squealing noise happening and there's a question mark?
Oh.
Yes.
So, this was one of those, like, gosh. So, I was a big fan of Sierra. I like the King's Quest games. I played those. I had all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why was this?
I was going to say, we've talked about this on the podcast before. One of the Sierra games that me and you both like is Phasmophobia.
Yeah. Freaking dark game, but great game. I need to watch a playthrough of that. I haven't played it in a while, but I need to watch a full playthrough again.
I want to say there was another Sierra game that I really enjoyed, which was called 13 Guest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they I'm gonna don't quote me on this. I'll have to look it up here, but I think they remade that for the Switch.
That's one thing I was going to say is that as far as talking about Night Trap, back in the day when it was on Sega CD, they actually had a
So it's on the Switch. It's on the
7th Guest, not 13. Sorry. Yes.
It's on the Android, iOS, Linux, CDI, obviously, Mac OS, DOS, Classic Mac. So basically, we could play this on the Switch and our phones.
I might know what I'm doing for work next time I go in. But like I was saying, like they had a big thing on C-SPAN. They were actually showing that Night Trap they made a red box out of it because it was actually sitting there. The parents they had gotten a hold of it and they want their little kids to look at it because they said the Night Trap was bad for sexual reasons, for just horrific things and everything like that. Nintendo had a representative come in to the thing where they were talking about it, and he sit there and this has been put on where they actually filmed him saying this. He was like, I will let you know right now that being the representative from Nintendo, we will never have this game on a Nintendo system ever because we do not want this for our fans and the people who buy our product. Funny enough, on Nintendo Switch, you can get Night Trap. And I was sitting there, I'm like, what happened to your morals, Nintendo? Oh, wait, that's right, you never had them. That's for you.
I have to point out one, too. A game that a lot of people said was not a good game. I loved it. It was Rare.
Okay.
That made this one. I love this game. I will play this game any chance I get. Conquer. Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, yes. That was only on the 64.
64. You could play it on the...
oh, that's right. Xbox.
It was on 360 as well. And you could also play it on the Xbox One, I'd like to say. There was the Rare collection.
Right. Now, when you said Conquer's Bad Fur Day, that's the one thing I remember is Nintendo 64.
They also made it out again, like Live and Reloaded, I think is what they called it.
Yep.
I used to play the crap out of the multiplayer on that, even. It actually had really good multiplayer. But no, I liked the game just because British humor.
Well, yeah.
The whole game's British humor. It felt like a very slapstick, more mature Monty Python. But it was a good game with Rare's little wittiness, but at the same time, they were kind of making fun of themselves.
Right.
The only thing that really sucked was the controls. In the end, the controls, how easy your character was to die if he had fall distance. But yeah.
I'll say two more real quick.
Okay.
As far as a bad game, Sega CD, again, to make another appearance, there was a game called Panic. And it was on Sega CD. The worst part about Panic is the fact that nobody, I don't think, unless you lucked out, unless you were just lucky, that's the only way you would know how to beat the game. Because every one of your buttons on your controller, even if you had the Genesis 3-button controller, every single button, every direction you went, left, right, up, down, whatever, anything you would press in any direction or any button would make something else in the game happen. You didn't know what it was. It was a randomizer.
Oh.
So if you press C on one board, you would sit there and hear somebody fart. Like your character would fart. The very next scene, you would see the atomic bomb go off. And it would destroy the entire landscape of the game.
Oh. Stanley's Parable.
Great game.
Yes.
Beautiful game.
Yes, it is.
I was going to say, the other one I was going to mention was something that I would feel Joe would have said, which would have been Star Wars Squadrons. You seem to have a really good time on that game. I feel really bad watching you on Twitch play that. Cause
Yeah,
I'm like,
I suck at it.
You just blow up every time.
I'm not too bad on Battlefront 2.
Okay, that's good. At least you saved something. Like,
Yeah.
when I watched
So
you
the
on
di-
Twitch
the
that
difference-
night, I was just
the
like,
thing with
oh, he's going off
Squadrons-
again. And you blow up.
Squadrons versus Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 is a more arcadey game, while Squadrons is trying to be a semi-flight sim.
Well, so it's third person versus first person.
That too.
So, and to be fair, on Battlefront 2, I only generally play the Starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it is third person versus. And the night you watched, I hadn't played it in I don't know, 6 months or so. And I had forgotten all the controls. I just tried to jump back in. Yeah.
That's fair.
So that
That'll
was
do
fun.
it. That'll
I
do it.
remember, I saw you play that on Twitch. I've seen JD and Dave actually play the last Star Wars game, which I want to say was Squadrons as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched them play, but it was more...
What the hell? You two got together and didn't invite me? You little bitch.
But I will say that if anybody ever wants to bring in Sega CD up one last time, if anybody ever feels the necessary need to play Star Wars chess with me,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I'd play that again.
because that's the only time you'll ever see Chewbacca ever take out Vader.
Or R2 murder Vader. Or C-3PO murder Vader by accident.
Or
Oh.
even a Stormtrooper.
All I can say is 3D chess from Star Trek.
No. End it now.
Okay, everybody. As always, like, comment, and follow our Facebook and Instagram Republic of the Geek. If you like this podcast, support us through our Anchor page, anchor.fm/podcastordie, as well as through our Twitch channel, as well.
Yeah.
And
And don't
YouTube.
forget about our Teespring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.